Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nahal Haghbin. I'm the founder of Yoga Avec and host of the Bicentenary Meditation Project. It has been a minute since we have posted YouTube specific videos, and so I'm super excited to jump back in today. And I'm really here to answer a comment that someone left on a video that I posted nearly 2 years ago. In a couple days, there'll be like the anniversary, 2-year anniversary of posting that video. And that video is literally my favorite video that I've ever made in my life. And it is on the spiritual symbolisms of animal infectious disease vectors. And so for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm an integrative yoga therapist, and my background is in control of infectious diseases. So when the outbreak happened, this is literally what made me start my YouTube channel. I was like, this is my time to shine. And so that video was really just like the gold that I had inside of me that I was like sharing with the world. But it's not a popular video. It's like only has like 75 views at this point. And this is the first comment that I'm receiving for this video. So I'm really appreciative, Cora P, for you leaving it. And basically the comment was, your teaching caused me to ponder if there might be a spiritual symbol for the mask wearing that we are undertaking to keep us safe from the diseases. And I was reflecting on this. Thank you for bringing this up. Like, it was very thought-provoking. And I had like about 4 comments to share about this. And with each of the aspects that I would like to share, I wanted to provide also like a solution or something that we could do to like counterbalance that. And so the first thing I wanted to draw everyone's attention to is basically the mask is something that protects the mouth. And that's what I really want to focus on right now. So the first thing I want to focus on about the mouth is the shape of it. So the shape of our mouth is typically indicative of the state of our heart. So if our mouths are always closed, closed and like tight, usually it's a sign of like how our hearts feel. Closed, shut, tight, like not open and receptive. And if we think about someone who's in love, like they kind of like have their, like it's almost like an inhale breath, like where their mouth is like slightly open and they're like open, receptive, and vulnerable to like things coming in, right? So kind of like the shape of our mouth is like indicative of our heart. And what I see that as a symbol of us wearing masks is actually a form of protection that we need to actually have against our hearts, which is the place where only universal love exists. The heart chakra in yoga is basically where universal love exists. And that is basically where only God can be there so that you can love everyone else the way God loves other people. I've shared other videos that I'll connect above. I was sharing how the heart chakra, if you say, it's incorrect to say that you love your lovers from your heart, because you love them actually from your second chakra, which is where you love your lovers, or your family, first chakra, or yourself, third chakra, which is like in the stomach area. But the heart is literally only meant for God to be there, or a higher power, so that that higher power can guide you to love everyone else. So the mask is almost like a form of protection of invasion of that sacredness of the heart, that do not ever allow anyone to penetrate your heart region or lessen the value and capacity that it is to be able to express. So that's one of the things in terms of the shape of the mouth, but also what the mouth represents and connects with the heart. So the solution is that be aware of the state of your mouth and what it looks like, and other people's mouths, to see how that connects to their heart, and try to find that correlation of like where your mouth is at and where your heart is at, and to see like the connection between the two. So the second thing I wanted to share is that the mouth is a place where we like obtain like nourishment. So it's where we feed ourselves and where we gain nourishment and put things into our mouth. So it's like, what are the things that you are putting into your body? As well as symbolically, what are you ingesting into your mind? Like, what are you allowing to come in? And basically this temporary blockage with these masks are a way for us to reflect on what we are choosing to ingest in. So to be more mindful of that. And to also know that if this is the center of our hearts, like what are we doing to feed that heart sacred area, right? And so the third aspect of the heart that I wanted to share is, the mouth that I wanted to share is the fact that we can have speech. Like the fact that speech is a uniquely human characteristic. Animals do not have this faculty. And for us to be able to speak the truth, this is something that is so important, that this has been the major thing and observation that I've had since the previous video, is that I've observed over the past 2 years, the amount of lies that people have told around me, and just things that I've uncovered in myself that I didn't either know they were lies, but just slowly uncovering just more consciousness about lies and just words and like how you choose your words, what they use to mask, and all these things. Again, coming back to the mask whole thing, is really being careful of what you say and speak. And something that I've just really noticed is how much the truth can really set you free and relieve you when you choose to be dignified, to be honorable, to your words and your hearts and your thoughts and intentions are all in one. This is actually something that I do every single physical yoga class. I always end by saying, bringing your palms to your third eye, your lips, and your heart, so that your mind, your speech, and your heart is all aligned into one. That is something that we really need to work on with this pandemic, is really making sure lies and things like that. And in terms of a symbol of lies, spiders are a huge thing. Weaving of lies, like a web of lies. And so I've actually been on many nature walks where I have just been encountering lots of spiders and lots of webs and lots of different types of things. And sometimes it's like actual people lying to me. And another time is like I was going to I thought was very innocent situation. But on my way there, I kept noticing that I would see these very intricate, like almost hives of webs. And it was actually a magic show that I was going to. It was literally an illusion. So webs could not only mean like web of lies, but it also could mean illusions, like deceptions. So you don't even know where what is. It's not like very clear. So either way, it's the obscuring of the truth. It's just not the straight up truth. And what the truth can really do is like really relieve the soul. Every time I'm around people who lie, my whole nervous system like gets really tense. And just any truth that is shared with me, however bad it is, honestly gives me such a huge sense of relief that my whole body just like relaxes. And it's not even about like judgment or anything like that. That's you straight away just go to, all right, let's figure out how to like deal with this situation, right? It's like there's no need for blame, shaming, or controlling or doing any of that in between. So that's one. And the last point that I wanted to make was really about the mask itself, and not really what it's protecting underneath, but that the mask is something in Greek theater. It's like the entire play was done with a mask on. But what has been symbolic of human society is that we've almost put on masks that we've forgotten to take off. In a sense that we have taken on identities that we don't even know. We can't even separate what is our true selves, what is behind the mask, and what is the mask itself. So much so that, again, going back to point 3, is that a lot of people don't know that their speech is actually untruthful, that they're so deep into the lie and so far away from acting on their nature consistently that this mask that they've put on their face really just becomes so integrated, and they don't know that it's actually like a mask that needs to come off rather than just something that needs to come on. So it's like, it's also a mask. So basically us wearing masks, it obscures a lot of things because you can't also identify people. the authentic people. Sometimes it's really confusing. Like, have you ever like been looking at someone with their mask on the whole time, and then they like open the, you're like, oh my God, this is what they look like. Like either pleasantly surprised or like you're like, oh, I didn't know they looked like that. You know, we've all had moments like that, but either way, it's like almost like a distortion and an illusion of the truth inside. So what we need to do with that is really think about how we basically need to take off our masks. And what are our masks first, to identify what are these things that we've put on, these masks that we've put on of like what we're like. I'm an integrative yoga therapist. I'm Canadian. I'm like, I live in China. Like I do these things. But they're all forms of identities and all forms of masks. Masks could be like false masks, like lies, or they could just be an identity that is still not the essence of who you are. So I was not born into this world being an integrative yoga therapist. I wasn't born into this world speaking certain languages where other people have so intimately identified me with, you know? So it's like to just temporarily make this distance of like taking off the mask is like a huge act of revelation in itself. So it's like really asking a ton of questions about going back into seeing like what is your truth. And a great resource I would like to share with everyone that I just recently found yesterday is with Teal Swan's website. There's about 100 questions you can ask yourself. And I just read a couple of them and they were so enlightening that I'm like gonna go deep into doing like all 100 of the questions and really self-reflecting, because self-inquiry is such a huge practice in yoga. So it doesn't even matter what the answer is, but the process in which you get to a question is being asked and an answer is given. You learn so much about yourself, of what the truth is about yourself. Like, you know, what are you afraid of? What are you lying to yourself? What are you not telling yourself, etc. So going back to the three, I forgot to mention the solutions for each. So the shape of your mouth is to be aware of like how you're speaking. The second is the nourishment. It's like being aware of how you're eating. And I actually wanted to share with everyone that Yoga Avec Moi is having a 1-week conference to celebrate our Yoga Avec Moi membership portal, free online for anyone to join. A 1-week conference on nutrition specifically, and we're going to talk about nutrition for yogis, nutrition for fasting, for postpartum women, for hormonal balance, for children and their power play and how we do that, and basically several other guests that haven't like completely finalized yet. But this is happening from August 24th to September 1st, around this time, and it's going to be online for free. And so I'm going to leave the details in the comments below. So if anyone would like to join us for that, it's an opportunity, at least for the nourishment component of this mask, is that you'd be able to kind of learn a little bit more of like what you need to put into your body. Okay. And so the third solution, which was on speech, is like being able to tell the truth is so important. Yoga Avec Moi has several blogs that talk about like the thyroid, which is an organ sitting perched on top of your throat that really is affected by the words that you say and how you say it and all these things. And so we have several of those blogs, and I'll also link them down below if you'd like to learn more. And finally, the last one is the Teal Swan resources that you can go for free on her website, and I'll also link them down below for you to check out. And so these are the 4 aspects of how the mask and what is underneath the masks like really influences us. And so the mouth and its relation to the heart, its shape, how it is what we put into our mouth and what we choose to nourish our bodies, our minds, our souls, is something that we need to be mindful of. And especially within this infectious diseases, which I mentioned in the first video, is that it's devoid of the oneness of humanity. So if you're ingesting any information that is not according to this truth of the spiritual principle, it's not worthy of nourishment, really. It's like, keep that out of your mouth and your brain, your soul, all of it. And the last is like what the masks really is, and to really discover like how to like remove this so that we can really identify like what's truly there. So I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you liked it, and I hope this was a shorter answer than the previous one. This is as best as I could do. Sometimes these concepts take a little bit of time to like tease out, but yes, hopefully maybe a blog will come out of this as well. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.